Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I am going to be working with the Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards that was just released today. This kit is May themed, and I'm going to do an unboxing and a project planning process video to show you the stories that I plan to tell with this kit. Now, before we get into the unboxing, I do want to mention just two things. One is that I did go ahead last month and I updated all of my planning worksheets. So I have them in every possible size you could think of, or the scale here on the page. So if you're looking for something like this, I do have a link in my description box that takes you to the folder where I store all of these. I just give them away for free because, they're nothing like super fancy. And if it helps you tell your stories, then that is a win for me. So I have a whole bunch of those. That's what I'm going to be working with when I actually go to my project planning. The other thing is something a little bit new that I am doing for myself this month. So I created these little checklists that I called my scrapbook story creation checklist. And on this, I have a place to put the name of the kit that I'm working with, and then a checklist of all the different story albums or albums in general that I am working in as of right now. This is just to be like a visual aid for me to make sure that I'm telling stories about lots of different people and in lots of different configurations, because that for me is what keeps scrapbooking fresh, at least from a design perspective. I like to work in a lot of different sizes. So this is something you're going to see on my desk today. So I wanted to mention what this is. On my checklist, I have a Project Life album that I'm working in that's 9 by 12. I have 3 story albums that are each 6 by 8. I have a story album that is 3 by 8. That's the one I'm working on for my niece. I have 2 traveler's notebook albums, one that has a pocket in the middle, a pocket page notebook, and one that's more of a traditional traveler's notebook. And then I also just recently started a new story album that is a 12 by 12 size. So I have that added on here as well. And then some additional room for notes in case I wanted to jot anything down that didn't make sense anywhere else. So that's what this is. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this kit. So the Stories by the Month kit comes with a marketing card, which is this one right here. It says, May, more than any other month of the year, wants us to feel most alive. The marketing cards always, maybe you're not the marketing card. Nope, you are. It just doesn't have it on here this time. Yours probably will, though. It generally has some details on the back of it that helps you figure out some different story ideas or ways to use the kit. But that is our marketing card this time. We also have 4 additional 6x4 cards. This one says, May memories and moments, beautiful, messy, and so very real, with a bunch of little spaces here where you could add some photos, or you could add journaling, or you could add stamping or embellishments. Really fun. I love the way that this card looks. We've got the story of life right now. This is a super general card, so you could add this in with your project life, or you could use it to tell a story all in and of itself. We have May feels like this, May tastes like this, May sounds like this, which I really love the look of this card. And something that pops into mind for me, even though it's not May right now, I love the idea of some kind of story project where you could take this and add these, maybe cut them out, add them to a page, and then use a longer page for your journaling, or you could add photos there too. That would be super cool. That will probably end up in my project life though. And then we have this one that says, loving this 1, 2, 3, and 4 with some paint swipes on there, which I think is really fun as well. So those are our 6x4s. Then we have a small pile of 3x4 cards. So we have remembering, all the little details. Looking for beauty every day with this awesome rainbow. May looks like this. It's hard because it's hard, one day at a time. We can do hard things. All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given us. May equals magic, and we've got magic found, magic found, magic found. That one's really cute. And then enjoying, here's my list right now, 1 through 5. So those are all of our journaling cards. For our stamp set, we have 3 sentiments on this one. May looks like this. It's hard because it's hard. And then May, memories and moments, beautiful, messy, so very real. So some sentiments that we saw here on the cards where you could totally recreate more of your own. There are 5 white acrylic hearts in this kit as well, which are really fun. They are a little bit on the thick side, but I think those will be really fun to add to maybe a larger canvas this month. We have a set of wonky circle chipboard stickers. So what you seek is seeking you, making the most of it. Dear May, our story. It's okay. Embrace the mess. Oh, I need that one. May joys, so thankful, May moments, loving this moment, and home love. And then last but not least, we have our cardstock sticker sheet where we've got a bunch of circles. You guys know that I love using these as bullet points, so that could very possibly be one of the stories I tell, is using these as bullet points. We've got some little smaller tiles and then some longer ones. These are great for 3x4 cards because they can fit, you can fit them on the bottom and use them for layering, or you could add them to a larger canvas and just put them on there as a long sort of tiny phrase sticker sort of deal. So that is our kit. It does all come in a zipper pouch, which I love to stockpile these in order to add all of my stories into them for when I'm ready to work on them. And that is that. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward and start putting together some stories. My goal is always to try and get a minimum of 2 stories in a project life. Sometimes I end up with 3 stories. It just depends on what comes out of the kit this time. So I've got my checklist. I've got my things. I'm going to grab a couple more pockets and then we're going to get started planning. To start off my project planning for today, the first thing I did was to go through all of my journaling cards and my embellishments and to set anything to the side that has the word May in it. So anything that was specific to the month of May, because currently I'm in the month of April and I want to go ahead and use this kit to tell a couple of stories for right now. So I'm going to put all the journaling cards there. I will pop out all of these chipboard pieces. For whatever reason, the cut through to the back of the chipboard sheet wasn't quite all the way through. So I did have to finagle a lot of those out. And eventually I will just take my scissors and trim around the outsides of those as well. So I have that all set to the side, and then I'm going to start going through these cards and figuring out different stories that I can use them to tell. I love, love, love that yellow paint swipe 4x6 card. So it says loving this 1, 2, 3, and 4. I thought perhaps I could use the acrylic hearts on there, and then ultimately decided that that took up too much room and I didn't really want to do that. Then I wanted to figure out how wide those rectangles were. They're roughly 2 inches wide, a little bit less than that, or not 2 inches, 3 inches, a little bit less than 3 inches wide. And so I have an idea that's formulating for that one, which we'll see here in just a little bit. So then I took the rest of these cards and I really liked the way that the 4x6 card that says the story of life right now, I liked how that looked with the 2 3x4 cards in the same type of font. So there's one that says enjoying and one that says remembering, remembering, remembering. So I thought those could potentially go together. And then there's also the black card that's got a bunch of like squiggly circles on there that I thought would go pretty nicely with those as well and give this spread a little bit of contrast. So for now, I've got the 2 separated. I have the one that says enjoying with the hearts, and then also the circle that says home life, which I'm going to come up with an idea for right now. I want to use the home life sentiment to tell a story about our home and just things that we love about our home. And I like the way that it looks with the hearts there and potentially to create some kind of embellishment on a page with all of those pieces. And then maybe I could use the enjoying card to help tell the story, or, you know, I'm still trying to think about how I want to add my journaling with that. I then took the Loving This Moment chipboard wonky circle, and I love the way that it looks on top of the black with the like squiggle polka dots. I don't know really what to call those, swirlies and something like that. I like the way that it looks on that card, so I am going to keep the Loving This Moment, the black card, the Remembering card, and the Story of Right Now card in a pile, and those will become some kind of story. I'm thinking about how I can use these circle cardstock stickers to create some kind of bullet point list. I'm thinking of potentially putting it with the home life or potentially putting it with the supplies up at the top. So for those, there is a card that says, I can do hard things. There's also a rainbow that says looking for, I think it says looking for beauty or looking for the good or something like that. And then I have a third card up there that says it's just hard, or some things are just hard. We'll see. We'll see when I move the other cards what it says for real, because I can't remember at this point in time. So I'm thinking about using all of those supplies and a chipboard piece that says embrace the mess to talk about coming out of a hard week. So a couple weeks ago, when I was going through this kit and documenting my stories, I had just had a really tough week here with the family, and I wanted to talk about different things that I did to help stay grounded, stay calm, and keep focused on the good. So I'm thinking about that for now. I also really love the look of the rectangle or the washi type strips. And I think that those would be really fun to create some kind of border pattern with. I'm thinking maybe of pairing it with the paint swipe card. Not exactly sure about it. And then ultimately I will put it up at the top with the Loving This Moment pieces up there. Here, I came up with another idea of something I could do with this home story that I want to tell. So I'm thinking about making that into a 12 by 12 page and having the hearts and the circles there, I have 2 of them, be more like balloons, like a bunch of balloons on the page. Then I'm thinking about using the 4 by 6 card right here with all of these like frames and maybe using them to create some kind of brick pattern, which is very reminiscent of, let's say, the bottom of a home or something like that, like cement tiles. So I'm thinking about cutting those out of the card and using those on the bottom or maybe on a section of a 12 by 12 page. So we'll see more about that once I get it sketched out. What I could use for that, what I was measuring was how many of the tiles were full tiles. So there's the 2 on the top, the 2 on the bottom, and then I figured I could end the page with the 2 in the middle that are missing their edge. So I think I can get that to go all the way across a 12 by 12 page, and that makes me super excited. So I'm going to start taking out some of my planning sheets and sketching away, because now that I have some more significant ideas in my head of what I really want to do, I think I can probably figure out the rest as I'm sketching. So here is going to be the home love story. I'm thinking of adding all of those tiles there at the bottom and then having part of the page have a photo. So I'll either print that photo at maybe 8 inches by 12 inches or 8 inches by 11.5 inches, something along those lines. Putting the picture on one side and then on the opposite side, using the hearts and the circles to create a balloon bunch, which that may not make any sense at all, but I just thought it would be a fun way to use all of those really dimensional pieces. And I don't know, it made me think about when you buy a house or you go to an open house or something like that, there's sometimes balloons, or like a party at a house. I don't know, like balloons outside. I don't know. Like I said, it probably makes no sense. But to me, I think it will be fun and whimsical and a fun way to use up all those pieces and, to have some interest on the page. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that will be that story. Next, I am bringing over, this is a checklist that I have created for myself, which is just a storytelling checklist that has all of the different albums and all of the different people that I am working on albums for. And as I am planning out these projects, I have started to keep this in front of me so I can make sure I'm telling a variety of stories and then also telling things in a variety of sizes to help keep it all fresh too. So I pulled that out just so I could check off the 12 by 12. So now I am thinking about a page with the Loving This paint swipes. What I'm thinking of doing is fussy cutting all 4 of those out and then adding them to a side of just a 6x8 page. So I'm thinking a full page photo and then adding the paint swipes on top of that with some journaling in there and pretty much calling that a day. So something really simple, but I think it will have a really bold effect once it is done on a page. For this one, I'm going to use this story to document something random about my son. So this will go into my son's 6x8 story album, and I'll just do it. It'll either be not a 4x6. It'll either be a 6x8 or something that is outside of a page protector, 6.875 by 8.25, whatever orientation looks best with the photo. And I'll try to pick one where my son, who this story will be about, is oriented to the side of the page, preferably the right side of the page, but we'll see as I start to look through my photos what I can find to help me tell a story there. For this next one, I am going to tell a story for my daughter in her 6x8 story album. So I really love to try and tell stories about both of the kids using all these different kits because it helps me to tell different kinds of stories about them or, very time specific. So for these, I am planning to use super current photos. So just random stories about something that has happened like this week. So for this one, I am going to pair this with a full page photo. And then on the right side, I will add in the cards. This is the one where I'm thinking I will take those stickers and create a border up at the top and at the bottom. So I'm just creating some sketches here to remind myself that that is what I want to do. I'll probably take those longer strips and cut them into pieces so they become more like tiles and less like, the big long strip there. On the right side, I am going to add a photo, most likely, into the spot where it says the story of life right now, and then put my journaling up in the remembering journal card. And then this one, that's pretty much going to be it. So it should be fairly simple and quick and easy to put together. So I'm looking forward to that. The next one that I'm going to pull over is one that as I said earlier, I wanted to document coming out of a hard week and different methods or techniques or calming techniques, let's call them that I used during that super hard week. And I honestly could see this as a spread for the future. If I'm ever having like a really hard time to like go back and look at this and be like, okay, what did I do last time? Because that really did help. And maybe I need to do some of those things again. So I'm going to put this spread into a divided 6x8 page protector. So I have the kind of protectors that is basically like a 6x8 full page, but then divided straight down the middle. So there are 2 3x8 sections. So in the right side of the 3x8, I want to add in the journaling card that says we can do hard things. And then I also want to print off a photo of something that was reminiscent of that particular week, something that just shows a little bit of what I was doing. And then on the left side, I will use the stickers as bullet points down the side, maybe putting, 6 to 10 things, and then fussy cut out that rainbow and add that to the bottom of the journaling page. I think that will look really pretty. I love the colors of all of those cards put together. They just make me feel a little bit of happy. So those are going to be my stories. The last thing I'll do here is grab out a planning page for a 9x12 Project Life spread. I will go and figure out what week I want to use this on. I typically do the first or second week of May, and then I will add in all of the stuff for the spread. I I will show you everything that will go into this pocket just as a reminder. So I've got the stamp set, I've got four journaling cards, I've got 5 of the chipboard pieces, and then 2 4x6 cards. So that will be plenty enough for me to do a full week spread in May for Project Life. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm actually glad also that I have an odd number of chipboard, because that will help things to look more balanced as well when we get to embellishing the spread for that week. All right, you guys, so that is it. All right, friends, so that actually gave me 4 stories this time, in addition to the 1 week of Project Life. So I'm actually really excited at the number of stories that came out of this kit, and also the different types of stories that the sentiments really sparked this month. So we've got the 1 week of Project Life here. We've got the Embrace the Mess story, which is going to be 2 of the 3x8 size, but I'll put that in my 6x8 album. I've got a story for Izzy for her 6x8 album, a story for Jonah for his 6x8 album, and then a story about our house for the 12x12 story album. So I'm really excited to get to all of these, and I don't even know which one I want to start with, but I will be starting with one of them today. So this concludes my project planning video here today. I will have an additional video going up that will take you through the process of one of these stories, and then the rest of them I will be putting together throughout the course of this month. If you enjoyed this video, I would love a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see all of my future crafty videos as well. Okay, so I'll be back with another video. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.